Right, we had some technical issues there for a while. Fingers crossed that this is now working. Just get my chat box up just to make sure I'm on the right stream. Really apologise that we're running late. Yeah, everything seems to be okay with the horizontal. Okay. I'm going to hopefully run a vertical at the same time, but I'm going to start that in a few minutes just because I wanted to make sure I can differentiate both of these live streams. So I have already started filling this in in the live stream that went wrong, everything that went wrong. So just so I can get this one going as well, I'm going to press go live and see what happens, and if we can get this one running as well. Right. Luckily I've made that one private, the one that went wrong. This live stream should be going live in 3, 2, 1. Fingers crossed it all works. Are we live? Yay, we're live. Okay. So my apologies that everything went wrong at that point. We was having some trouble. I was having some trouble. So on on the live that went wrong, on the technical difficulty one, I had already filled this in. I've actually made that private now because it was just an absolute shambles. So I do apologise. I'm back live. These things happen. Take a breath. Start to breathe again. Okay. So nobody's in the chat at the moment, so I'm on my own and I can go for what we're up to. So we want to make sure we've got the right colours. And it doesn't look like we have. What's going on here? Right, we're going that way. So we are swatching these beautiful CaranDache pencils. This is the box. And just in case it didn't come through or nobody saw what was happening, and now I've just hit the camera. One of those days, I think. So this is the box of CaranDache Luminance pencils that I'll be swatching today. I have already done 2 of the trays in my last 2 lives, and I'm basically doing this to get used to these lives, which I thought was going actually quite well, but yeah, things change. So we have done this page and we have done this page. And I've just realised on the main camera that it's not mirrored it for some reason. So I do apologise about that as well. Don't know what's going on today. It's going to be one of those days by the looks of it. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on and start filling these in and give you my opinion about these pencils. What I have noticed is every single colour acts differently, which I don't like. So this dark indigo, for example, was extremely hard, gritty. Now I'm doing this one, and this one seems really smooth and nice. Bit like the live stream, really. This one was an absolute shambles, and this one is working. So yeah, going live. I've enjoyed it up to now, but today's a bit today's not gone quite the way it should have gone. Let's just say that way. Luckily, there was only one person waiting in the chat, and if Michelle, which I'll give a shout out to, her channel is Yes Michelle Crochets. She was kindly waiting in the chat, ready to chat to me, and unfortunately, I did say hello when I first come on live, but I was faced with these technical issues and therefore had to postpone it and change all the settings and everything because I'm not very quick at doing these kind of things and I'm still learning as well. And I've got nobody here to help me. I thought I'd give myself that little bit of time get it right. So just in case anybody out there decides to go live vertically and horizontally, I would strongly suggest that you do them at a different time. You know, not too much of a different time. Start one of them before you start the other one. Say hello on one of them before you start on the other one. And also have a window open where you can actually check which one is live. Because, as I came to realise, you need that extra account set up if you're using your phone and your laptop so that you can actually check what's going on with your live. So I'm after basically making a nice transition from the lightest that this colour will produce to the darkest, so we're going to go as hard as we can on this side. We're burnishing it and pushing all those little white dots, which are basically the dips in the paper. We're pushing that all together so we can see how saturated this colour can get. Now there's a few ways you can get rid of those dots. One is pushing it right in like this, burnishing it. The other one is Colourful Splendour. And there is also some products that you can use, which I will show in a future video. That will be a video, not a live, where we can test the best methods for different pencils to actually get this done. So Nightbot's made an appearance, which is nice to see. I just want to double check everything's actually going the way it should be. Yeah, mic's on. Everything seems good. So if you are a YouTuber or you think of doing YouTube videos and you want to do lives, you are going to have to accept, like I have had to, that things go wrong and you can't get everything right. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I didn't go live for such a long time. But now I'm in the thick of it, you deal with it as best as you can. You may let some people down, but at the beginning of your YouTube journey as a creator, this is live. Things go wrong on live TV, and they're professionals. They've got a team behind them doing all the bits at the back. So unless you're superhuman and can do everything absolutely perfect every single time you do anything, these things are going to happen. And I think I'm talking to myself here because I'm trying to make this right in my own head as well. But it just goes to show that, I've done now, this is only my second week of doing lives, but I think this is my 7th or 8th time of actually live streaming. It's only the second time I've done vertical and horizontal at the same time. So I'm still fairly new to it, and I don't know everything what I'm doing on both of these systems. I'm actually running 2 different platforms at the moment. Don't like how this one goes down. It's got like a grey tinge to it. Like it's got little bits in the lead, but it's not. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that. I need to try and get it on there for the camera as well. So that's on the vertical. Don't know if you can see that. It's sort of got some grey streaks. Show it on that one as well. It's got some kind of grey streaks coming in, and I'm not sure why they're coming in. It's on the other side. It's nothing to do with that. I think it's going to be one of those days. The next layer is quite pastel based. They're not as vibrant as these colours. And although these pencils are meant to be the best, that you can buy, or one of the best you can buy, and they're very expensive. Honestly, my opinion, up to now. They're not great. They're not as good as I thought they would be. I thought I will get these pencils and I'll be really excited about using them in an art piece. Not to say that I'm not going to use them, but the I've got a set of polychromos, which I've done a video on, the Faber-Castell polychromos. They're quite a hard pencil, and I was hoping that these would be like the main area that you do your coloured pencils in. So if I'm doing a portrait, I would normally use these type of things for like the skin, building up skin tone, all that type of stuff. And the Faber-Castell ones, I would then go in and do fine details with, and any extra bits, on the top layer of the surface. But I've also got a small set of, I forgot who makes them now. Got a small set of. Sorry, I'm just opening my drawers to remember what they're called. Yeah, I've got a small set of Prismacolor, which are a lot more creamier than these CaranDache ones, which are supposed to be the bee's knees. Doggy Life, Izzy! Welcome to the chat. How are you, my lovely? Hopefully you didn't see the the live stream a while ago. I went and had major technical difficulties and had to restart the stream. These things happen. I'm new to it all. That's what I'm blaming it on. Where are you coming from? I'm in the UK, and we are currently on 3:13 p.m. So yeah, these pencils are not cracked up to what I was hoping they was going to be, up to now. But I've learned that just because you're filling in a box like this on this particular paper, which is the paper that I use all the time, I've always been pleased with it, it doesn't mean that these pencils are going to suit this paper. So I will be doing some testing offline and seeing what they actually look like on different types of paper, and then I will come back to you at another time and tell you my findings. Look, I did my first one today, and boy oh boy, yes, it's to be honest, this is my I think it's 7th or the 8th one I've done. I've only done 2 weeks worth, so I've done a few videos each time. And I thought it was going really, really well. The chat was going well. I've had no problems with the chat side of things. I thought I would have had a load of people in, especially on the verticals, causing issues, but I've been lucky that way. Really shouldn't say too much, should I? But today, everything went wrong. Don't know if you went vertical or horizontal on the live stream, but this this stream and my last stream, I decided to do both at the same time. One so I can catch people on the shorts, and the other one so I can catch people either who are just flicking through on the TV or subscribers, or anybody else that likes to watch it horizontal. But because I set them both at exactly the same time with exactly the same titles and exactly the same thumbnail, yeah, I started the same stream on both devices. So I had one stream running in vertical and my horizontal wasn't going. Then my mic decided to not work. My the streaming platform that I was on my computer decided it crashed, and therefore I had to restart the full thing. Which is why I rescheduled for half an hour later so I could get those things sorted. And it's the first time I've done this. Sorry, the second time I've done this, so it's all new to me. I was just hoping that if anybody was on, that I've not caused any problems. Let's catch up. I can be your live. You are my live. Well, my live stream didn't want my camera to work. Well, I'm glad it's not just me. What was you filming on, a camera or mobile? So I'm currently filming horizontal on my camera and vertical on my phone. I have got a second camera that I'm hoping to set up for vertical, but I've not managed to sort it as yet. Computer, I can be a mod. I don't mind when I get to know you a little bit better. I've seen you out and about on, I think you was on Andy's live, but I've learned from, especially from other people that I am involved with, like as in subscribers and members, not members, subscribers and people that I chat to, a lot not to just let anybody to be a mod straight away. We'll see how you turn up for the lives. What time is it in the UK? Sorry, in the US? I know what time it is in the UK because that's where I am. Okay, we're going on to these kind of fleshy tones, which I'm quite happy about because portrait is what I generally deal with. And to be honest, I wish I had sort of saved my money and bought just the portrait set now and then built the collection up as I went on. Because this box of pencils was expensive. And I probably could have just got away with just the portrait ones till I got myself sorted out on what I want to actually do. It's 10:18 where you are. Morning, I'm presuming. I don't know the time zone with me. I didn't realise how much of a massive time zone difference there was across the world. I was obviously aware of it, but I didn't really take much notice of it, if that makes sense. Only when you sort of go on holidays and stuff like that. But when you start doing YouTube, you realise how much you can't support those people that you want to support. Which is why I've come on at this time of day, because I can catch UK people as well as US people. Well, that was the plan. I can't even remember what time zones are put down. I will definitely go back onto your YouTube channel and have a look at your last video if you want me to. I'm presuming if it's there public, you want people to see it. I actually turned the one that went wrong into a private view because it just didn't work. Everything went wrong on both systems, so I just thought, nah, I'll just get rid of that and put up with that. I've already done one of these colours. PM. It's quite late. You've been working today? I just want to check. Excuse the arm. I just want to check on my system that the other one is actually working. Yep, we're all good. And we're vertical as well. You haven't seen that on YouTube, what the Do you know what? I might just post it because it shows people that these things do go wrong, and I think that's why I sort of went no, I'm not going live. I don't want to do it because I'm scared to death of people saying the wrong things or things going wrong. And it put me off for so long. And it was my own procrastination that stopped me. And I actually enjoyed the lives that I did the last few times, especially having people in there that I recognised and could have a chat with and sort of be a bit chilled and laid back. I enjoyed actually doing them. So yeah, I didn't want to stop doing them, and I thought I'd sort of got the gist of how to do it all properly. But yeah, today didn't go that way. And I think that's the problem with a lot of social media is it's well, we all know it's not real life, but people only post the good things on there. So I might just upload it anyway, with a warning. Everything went wrong with the stream because I want to be as real as possible. And if I'd have seen, yeah, I think I might actually, because if I'd have seen somebody who had, had a few hundred subscribers and they're still making some mistakes, especially on lives, then I might have felt a bit more comfortable about going live. But all the people that YouTube push towards you are not the small creators, not the small, inexperienced creators, or with little experience creators. So you generally get somebody on your screen who knows what they're doing. So I'm just pressing down, getting that saturation of this colour. It's actually quite orange. What's it called? Apricot. Learn a bit of German whilst you're doing these pencils too. I'm just going to get a drink. End of the day, we're humans. We're not stupid. See, can't even talk. We're humans and we're not superhumans, and we will do things wrong. We have to drink. We have to pee. We have to do many things. Do you know, I hate these little tabs. You'd think with big company they would have sorted out how to pick that up. That hurt my thumb finger. We are on the final layer of these pencils, and we have some very pastel shades. I'm not sure if you're here for. You're still working. What is it you? No, well, it's up to you. If you're happy sharing what you do for work, then that's fine. But it's quite late to work. Let me have a guess. Either I'm thinking security, or health work, or police work, some kind of public service. Kendra, hello. Sorry, this screen doesn't show me that someone's actually typed anything in until you actually turn over and look at it. I'm hopefully going to try and sort that. I agree. Showing the mess ups reminds people that, well, we're people. Exactly. We're going to mess up and that's okay. But that's the thing. I didn't think it was okay, and I'm here to tell everybody it is okay. We are human. Everything went wrong. Everything from. This is the other thing I don't like, is especially this dark indigo. It's left little bits, and now it's spoilt this pencil. Yeah, I was correct. Just in case you're wondering who I'm speaking to, I'm actually running a vertical and a horizontal at the same time, and obviously I've got some comments coming on through both of them, so you might not see each other's comments, but um I do generally read them out just so you know what the other person on the other stream is actually saying. So I'm just basically I've got two chats in at the moment, and I've got a few people lurking in the background who are welcome to join us at any point. But I've got one person on the horizontal who's in chat, and one person on the vertical, and I'm having a chat to them both at the same time. Okay, that makes sense. I was confused. Yep. I was quite confused the other day. I was watching somebody on YouTube, and they was also streaming the exact same stream to TikTok. These are the things you learn as you go along, but I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know you could do vertical and horizontal at the same time. Well, you can, but you have to have two separate streaming platforms, which is how I'm doing it at the minute. Because for some reason, YouTube thinks that I'm not allowed to go vertical. So I'm having to use StreamYard to go vertical. And that is the only workaround that I've found. So do you know on your on your phone when you press the button, like the plus button to go live on the vertical? Yeah, YouTube won't let me do that. So I don't know what's going on there. It says I need at least 50 subscribers, which I know I've got. And yeah, doesn't like me to go live vertical, and it'd be a lot easier rather than running two separate platforms. Not platform, yeah. No, streaming software, not platforms. Get all my words mixed up. Have you had a good workout today, Kendra? I'm asking because I know you've probably done about 5. You put us all to shame. I'm so sorry, I have to go. We homeschool and it's time to get going with some lessons. It's hard to break away though because I love listening to you talk. Oh, thank you, lovely. I love you being here. But I understand the homeschooling issue because I've done it myself. So yeah, you go ahead and go and spend some time with your kiddies, and I will see you later. If you can replay it, rewatch it later, that's up to yourself. Be nice for that to happen. But enjoy being a teacher. Make sure some more of them skits get sent out to us. Love you loads. I'll see you later. Somebody that loves me talking. I've not been told that before. Well, not in life anyway. Actually, it's quite funny. There's one of my subscribers who actually enjoys my videos but doesn't enjoy my lives because my voice is less, what does she say? It's calming on the lives. Oh, sorry, it's calming on the videos but not on the lives. So I think that might be to do with whoever's in chat and what I'm talking about. I haven't done a workout yet, but hopefully later today I will for sure come back as well and run other live videos. Oh, thank you, lovely. Bye bye, Kendra. Yeah, so yeah, this other subscriber likes my voice on the videos but not on the lives. Um, but I think that might be to do with who is in the chat because because I'm obviously when I'm on my own and I'm just doing my crafts or my art or whatever it is I'm doing at the time. If I've got that going and I've got somebody in the chat chatting to me, you you sort of, wouldn't say adapt, but you talk differently when you're talking to somebody else, or I do. Um, you're grateful for them being there, and you want to show, or you generally show some excitement. This is called Pink Rose. No, it's not. It's called Pink White, and it's very, very, very pale. And I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on camera. Okay, so that's the first layer. Let's go in a bit darker. You might be able to pick it up. As I get towards the bottom of it. But at the minute, it probably looks on camera like I'm just colouring with nothing. There is one thing that I really do like about these pencils is how wide they are, how thick they are to hold. Some of the other ones are very, very thin. If I can show you, I mean that's the Prismacolor. It's a lot thicker, or sort of wider to hold. But it would be nice if I could see the actual colour at the end to see how thick the actual lead is, because I'm wondering if this is like a protectant around it or whether you actually get more colour. Okay, let's go in a bit deeper. I mean, I can see the difference, and I will be using this a lot, probably for more to do with the portraits, especially to get lighter colours in there without actually going white. And I'm really not happy that some of these colours are flaking off. But this is another reason why we do practices like this, not only just to get the colour and the feel of how they actually work and everything, but also to learn from any mistakes. I mean, I know now that if I'm using these, I've not had this with any other pencil to be honest, but if I'm using these pencils and I go on from a darker colour onto a lighter colour, I mean, they're not like they're close together, it's off one of these two. That tiny little flake has gone onto this section, and therefore now I've got a blue streak in there that I can't get rid of. I don't know if you can see that on there or not. I can't zoom in with the camera. No, can't zoom in with the camera. Oh, you're on the vertical. Is it better for the only problem is you're on the vertical now, probably because you could read and see the chat. But my lovely Kendra's had to go off homeschooling, so she's not in the chat. But I do generally get more people coming in the actual chat on the horizontal. So if anybody comes on the chat, it's probably going to be on there. That's what happened in my last live stream. Some of the people that was on the vertical ended up going on the live stream on the horizontal one, and then that way they could all sort of chat together at the same time as listening to me waffle on and do the swatches. So I'm gonna check out your channel in a bit. Just give you a shout out. I'm speaking to Doggy Life, who did their first live today, which I'm gonna catch up on. But do you wanna give us an idea of what your channel's about? I'm presuming it's to do with dogs. And are you here for the chat? Or are you here for the relaxing sense of coloured pencils being swatched? Oh, you're on both. How have you managed that? No, I just clicked on that one by accident. Crochet. Do you know what? I might have actually seen some of your videos then. Possibly. I'll have a check back on them. More likely. And prayers. Both. Good. Do you have dogs as well? I'm presuming. I'm just wondering where the name come from for the channel. It takes a while to get over doing a live. I have, like I said, I've done about 7 or 8 now, and I'm still sort of need to take that time afterwards to sort of calm down and go, right, it's done, it's over with, it's finished. Stop worrying about it. I'm one of those people who sit back and question everything of how I've done it and how it worked and how it didn't. And I'm presuming, so I'm thinking that's only a good thing, because at least then I can go, well, this didn't go right, and I can do this next time and come up with a different idea. But then knowing me, I'll come to that time and forget what I actually learnt anyway. So yeah, I've noticed it's a very good idea to have a notebook or something close by so that if something goes wrong, you can write it down straight away because I don't remember these things. I remember them going wrong, but I can't remember what actually happened and how I solved it. So I write it very quickly, what happened, why it happened, and how I fixed it as quick as I can, and then come back to it later and actually write it up so that I know next time what not to do. I might actually make a video about that because I know there's a load of people out there who want to go live and they've not done for similar reasons to mine that they just overthink it. So I might do that. So even in the box, you can see a little flecks coming off. Yeah, they do sort of. I'm not overly impressed with them, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be good when I actually use them on other paper as well as this one. Yes, my picture is of my dog. Okay. I can't see what dog it is because it's so tiny on my screen. I can see it's sort of a brownie colour, but I can't see what the actual dog is. We have a dog. Or should we call it a fur human? And even though I don't think dogs can have ADHD, it's either ADHD does exist in dogs, or because he was quite a therapy he wasn't like a trained therapy dog, but we got him for my son who's got ADHD and autism. We got them for the kids and for the family as well, but he really helped out my son when he used to have his meltdowns quite bad. But I think either he's picked up some of his behaviours or the ADHD dog does exist. Because he's 13 now and he's like a pup. He's the size of a pup as well. So when people meet him and I say how old he is, they're always shocked because he doesn't act like he's 13, nearly 14. It's my brownie brand. Yeah, I have ADHD and autism. Yes. Well, I've I've lived the life with it for a long time without knowing. I was diagnosed with ADHD about three years ago, and oh my God, did the world make sense after I got that diagnosis? Well, didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. What was going on and why it was going on and how I felt and why I felt things. I thought I was just abnormal. Um, and you realise over time when you've been diagnosed with these things that it can be normalised. There's now a massive trend on YouTube that um people are dipping into about ADHD, and sometimes I think you don't actually have it, or you don't actually deal with it because you just repeating what somebody else who has ADHD says, and you can tell when they're faking it just to make it rather than dealing with it. And don't know, sometimes I think things have trends and health conditions shouldn't be like a trend because we have to deal with it all the time. I'm not saying ADHD is bad all the time, it can be really, really helpful and beneficial, especially creative wise and forward thinking, things like that. But it's things like, for example, just an example, fidget spinners, fidget toys, all that type of stuff. They was brought very much on a trend basis where people who didn't have autism and ADHD and other sensory or neurotypical, neurodiverse conditions, and there was just being used all the time, which was great because it sort of like a normalised it. But now they've sort of gone out of fashion or out of the trend. Um, Anybody that does have them because they need them don't look like they're with it because it's not the latest trend, and that's not good. It's I mean, it's good that it's been normalised for a little bit, but it's not good that once that that trend has gone, you're back to not being normal. Because them type of things can have an effect on how you perceive the world. I look back at all the things that I've sort of done and gone through and how I've acted or behaved or, I weren't like I weren't like a bad behaved child or anything like that, but the way I thought of different things and everything like that. And I think as you get older and you get more life experience and then get told that you've had this condition all your life and nothing made sense, things sort of fall into place and you go, whoa, that's what it was. Well, that's why I think it this way. It just um gives you a reason for it, but all that time you could have had extra help or your extra support. I was all in and supporting my lad, way before I got my own diagnosis. And a reason why I didn't notice or didn't bring it to attention to the doctor was because I was just told for years and years it's anxiety and depression. And that's what they was treating me for decades, since I was in my teens. Anxiety and depression. Now, I'm not saying anxiety and depression doesn't come from parts of the ADHD, because I think they do have close links. But that's not the reason why I was anxiety and depressed, or I wasn't. It was because I had this condition that I wasn't diagnosed with and wasn't picked up by anybody when I was younger. But doctors only see you for a short period of time, so unless they can build that knowledge up, which in the UK they don't, family doctor, you get passed here, there, and everywhere. You don't actually see one doctor generally. Nobody picks up on these things, and the reason why I didn't pick up on it myself was because the way my son presented was totally different to how I presented as a female. Because girls and boys present totally different. I also have a daughter who's got autism. She's not diagnosed with ADHD, but she's got autism. And they are like chalk and cheese with their traits. They're nothing like each other. Their interests are very different. Their talents, and apart from the creative side, they're both very creative. My daughter's definitely more academic than my son, but it doesn't mean that she's not struggled with it. She's worked really hard to get to where she's got to. Well, my son has as well. It was told when he first started high school that he'd never set any of his GCSEs. And although his marks weren't particularly high for everybody else or as a general census, he did absolutely amazing and was able to sit 5 GCSEs, which, looking back to what he was like in his first year of high school, nobody thought that was possible. Well, I did, but I was told it wasn't possible. And he proved everybody wrong. And now he's off doing something that he loves, studying, rather than dealing with people not saying he can do things or he's not good enough. He just needed to be taught a different way. And I think that's one of the good things about there were many things that was good about COVID, but I taught him at home because obviously he wasn't at school, and I picked up on a lot more of how he should be taught and how he should be how he responds best. Obviously I know as his mum what ways I can get him to do things or learn things or retain information, but obviously not everybody was doing that in school. He did have a one-to-one and she worked amazing with him, but teachers in general just didn't teach the way they needed to be taught. Yesterday, autism acceptance today. Yeah, at least people are accepting it. And also realising that autism isn't just, for years and years it was I can't even say the word. Everybody thought autism was just somebody that can't speak, who's got no way of doing things. I know a genius behind the scenes, but can't function in normal life, and that's not what autism is. Autism is a spectrum, and depending on where you are on that spectrum, and at the same time, you're also an individual, and every individual is different. So you'll have autistic traits. Doesn't mean that you're going to act the same or be the same as somebody else with autism. We're all individuals anyway. But I'm not stopping you from doing your job, especially as working in the ER. I mean, just that. I mean, you working in healthcare or in the ER, it shows that kind of care inside. And I think a lot of people, especially the ADHD, are more empathetic. They listen more. They look at things under the surface, not just what's being said. My hands are not doing too great today. Or my eyes, for that matter, they keep blurring. So I know for a fact I'm going out of these boxes. But at least I'm here and doing it. Building up this experience before I do actually start getting people coming in all the time. Because these are supposed to show up in people's shorts feed. And to be honest, I don't think I've actually had that much traffic come through from general public. I'm just not sure if you can see. Let me just check on YouTube itself. Yeah, that's not working. Okay. No, you're just folding towels. Well, everything needs to be done, doesn't it? I need to fold a lot of laundry, but I'm here colouring swatches instead. But it's literally one day a week where both the kids are out of the house and I get time to actually sit down and do something creative. That didn't happen for a very long time, and now I've got that extra time, generally on the Wednesday, where they're both out of the house. That's what I decided to do because I was sick of doing meetings and everything else for everybody else within that time period on the Wednesday. So now I take the time to sit. I'm still doing it a bit for other people. Obviously, I'm doing YouTube for other people as well. And to have the community, build a community up where we can all come in and chat and just all talk about general things that are going on and build awareness of different things that people have to deal with. I'm also doing it for myself because I never had that time to sit and do it. And this is my only way of socialising. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed about doing the lives. I didn't think I'd have that social aspect. I thought it'd be more or less. And it's not what I expected it to be, that's for sure. Punch Monkey, hello. How are you, darling? Thank you for joining us. And I see you're on the vertical live stream. Just to let you know, we're running 2 live streams at the minute at the same time. Yes, things didn't go well at the beginning, but we're here and it's working now. So if somebody else pops in on the horizontal and the chat doesn't show up in your live chat, that's the reason why. But I do read it out and we can have a look at who's saying what from different ones. So I'll be like the go between. But I just wanted to catch people on phones and on horizontal, TVs, tablets, laptops, and stuff like that as well. And hopefully to also bring in some new people. But it seems like YouTube doesn't like me. It says I need over 50 subscribers to go live vertically. And I have over 50, and it's still not letting me go live. So I'm doing this through StreamYard. So I've got 2 separate systems running at the same time, and things went wrong at the beginning. I'm doing okay. The last couple of weeks I've had really, really bad, either bad headaches or bad migraines, depending on the day. Headaches I can, put up with. Obviously not pleasant. For migraines, I've had last few weeks that have really floored me, and I've just sort of gone, nope, I can't do YouTube at the same time as doing everything else that I need to do as a single mum. So I sort of had to not do too much last week on YouTube itself. But I've still got the headache, but I've not had a migraine for a couple of days, which is good. So I thought whilst I'm able to see, because I've not been able to see properly, I can see, but I mean, when you've got the migraines, you get a different vision, and that's what was happening. So I thought, well, whilst my vision seems to be okay today, I'm going to get some of these swatches done because I want to get towards the end of it so I can actually start using them and start on a piece. Not sure what that piece is going to be yet. I'm waiting for. Yeah, migraines do suck. Swatches look amazing. Thank you. Yeah, what I generally do is use the same paper that I normally use and colour the same way that I would normally colour. Because when I come to, because I do realism, or I try to. I've not actually done much with coloured pencil, especially realism. I've generally dealt with graphite drawing, and charcoal. I wanted to do something with a bit more colour in it, so I figure if you got your values right in your grayscale, then colours, we can just learn with as we go along. So I wanted to try and colour the same way as I would do on a portrait, which is why I use this particular paper. Because it's what I've used for years and it's always been really good, even with other coloured pencils. But with these CaranDache, I don't know if it's pencils that I'm not happy with or the pencils on this particular paper. So I am going to go away and test them on some other papers. I just wanted to see how they behave and what they're like and get a sense of how they work. It sounds really stupid, but yeah, coloured pencils work differently. French grey. So we've been doing this for over a couple of videos because I wanted to go live with something that I don't really have to concentrate on, so I could also keep up with the chat and any technical issues, which is a good job I did because these technical issues today, yeah, things didn't go to plan. I've actually made that one private, the live, but I'm wondering whether to actually make it live. So, or public, I should say, so people can see that things do go wrong. And it's about taking a breath and figuring out how you're going to sort it out and then come back and try again. It took me weeks to sort of, no, it didn't. It took me months of me procrastinating about going live. Finally did it, and I'm so glad that I did it. And I thought everything was going really well, and then this happened today. But yeah, my brain's not been with it, and I've not been able to keep up with the knowledge that I learned from the last few weeks because my migraines have been so bad. But yeah, they do suck completely so. Oh, thank you. Punch Monkey's just said, well, you're doing a great job, my dear. This is the other thing. I've seen other live streams where they're able to put their people's comments or people in chat's comments up on screen. And I've looked to see if I can do this, but it doesn't seem to want me. Let me just see. Star comment, delete comment, put user in. No, don't put you in timeout. Definitely don't want to delete you and ban you. No, don't want to do any of them. Wonder if it's star, would that come up? Nope. It's just starred the actual thing. Yeah, I've seen other people who do lives who are able to put the comments in chat up on the screen, and I've not figured out how to do that yet. So, yeah, that's something that I'm going to be looking into. But at the minute, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. I am actually doing 2 lives at the same time, like I said. Ace Fla. Hi there, everyone. Hi there. Thanks for joining us. Ace Fla is on, I'm hoping saying that right, or Ace FLA1 is joining us from the horizontal live stream. I'm actually running 2 live streams. I've got a vertical as well, Ace FLA. It'd be so much easier if I knew your name, but I'm quite happy if you don't want to post that in. It's just trying to figure out a way of actually saying your channel name. But the channel name is Ace FLA1. You don't know how to do that either. Oh, you're a great help then, aren't you, Punch? I know your name, but I just cannot remember it, Punch Monkey, because I've been on a couple of your live, or I've been on lives where you've been on the panel. But I'm absolutely terrible with names, to be honest. I'm okay in live streams where I'm actually chatting to somebody there and then, but go away, come back and think about what that person's name is. So when I'm not spoken to them for a while, yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. Was writing people's names down at one point, and then I got to the point where I was supporting and you know different content creators and going on different live streams to try and help them to build that community and watch hours and stuff for that person. I forget people's names very easily. I'm gonna have a play about. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna have a play about. I'm going to do some research about putting comments up on screen because I know there's a way of doing it because I've seen other YouTubers do it. Um, if there was a way of me putting comments up on the screen, people can see what other people are saying then. Or if there's something I want to highlight, at least I know how to do it. So a lot of these next colours are going to be more like the pastel-y greys, which are not that they're not that pleasing to some people, but to me, because I work with graphite and grayscale and things like that, these are actually quite of an interest to me personally. So they might not be as pretty and as vibrant as other colours that have been on here, but it does give you an idea of how to use these for shadows and skin tones, textures, things like that. It depends on what you're actually going to be using the pencils for. Obviously, if you're going to be using coloured pencils for um, adult colouring books or things like that, you're not going to need this light fastness from these actual pencils, and that's what these are renowned for. renowned for keeping the same colour over time. These are supposed to be one of the best, so obviously eventually I want to sort of look at selling artwork and things like that. So if I'm selling, I want to make sure the materials that I'm using are of good quality, because I'd hate to receive something myself poor quality if I've spent some money on something, especially when it comes to if it's a portrait of an animal or a dog or a loved one. um you don't want them colours to fade over time, so that's the reason why I've actually invested. The choice for me was between Prismacolor and CaranDache, and people was raving so much about the CaranDache, that's what I went for. And I never experienced. Should have bought just a couple of pencils first, just to see what I thought of them. But the Prismacolor, they're a lot more smooth and creamy, and I've not done much as in like blending with these yet, because obviously I'm just doing one colour, and then I'm okay building that gradient up to just see how saturated they get to how light they can be. But I've not actually put them to the test of blending as yet, which I will do over time. But Prismacolor go down so creamy and easy, and I just sort of hoping that I've not spent too much on pencils that are not easy to use. As I've said before, I need to also test them on different types of paper, and I'll do that myself and then do a video on what these pencils actually work best on, in my opinion. You're terrible at remembering names. Well, at least I'm not the only one. No, I'm okay with, like, if someone says, yeah, I made a video about this, or yeah, you was in my life when I did this, I'll go, oh yeah, sorry, I do remember your name is such and such a thing normally. But recently I've been trying to sort of support other content creators, smaller channels, so that they've got people in the chat, and just to get an idea myself as well, what lives run like, what people do, that type of thing, and build that experience up. But the more channels I meet and the more people I meet, the less brain storage I have to remember people's names. There's certain YouTubers that I watch for my own sort of, yeah, I want to watch everything that they do because I really like that person or that personality, or I've got to know the creator over over a couple of years or over a few months or whatever. But if I'm just dipping in and out of several different ones, I don't always remember them unless something's quite memorable. Unless something's memorable, something's like, I'm probably going to be known for that person where everything went wrong at the beginning of the live stream, because not this live stream, the stream that I did earlier today just went completely wrong, and if anybody was watching, they'd be like, yeah, that was that one that messed up pretty bad. Every technical side, I'm sure technology has an allergy to me, has an allergic reaction every time I come near it. And it never used to be like that. When I was younger, I used to be really good with technology, but as I've got older, I think I've just passed all my knowledge and ability to do things to my kids, because they can do all this, but I can't. But I think that's what happens over time, and new things come out, and then your kids get better than what you was. And I can learn how to do something and do it pretty quick straight away. But if I don't do it again and again, I completely forget. That's why I've got notebooks all over the place trying to remember how to do things, because if I've not done it for a couple of days after learning, there's just stuff that I've learned like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm fine with. But anything that I learn now, I'm just absolutely ridiculously not able to remember stuff. That's why I don't read books, because I have to start again right at the beginning because I can't remember what's happened a couple of nights ago when I read it. Plus the time, don't really have the time, or when I'm got that time to relax and generally asleep because I need to sleep. You are sweet. It's nice to see how crafty others are. Thank you, lovely. Means a lot. Oh, you are. Oh, you put the same one. Sorry. Yeah, it's a difficult. Yeah, I like got dipping into like. At first, I was doing it to support other creators. Um, but the more I did it, the more I was sort of learning how I do things or what they was doing I liked and that suits me, or I'd do something different to them. I wouldn't do it like that. I'd do it like this. But at the same time, you was also watching the content. I mean, I'm not into crochet, or I wasn't into crochet. Um, and I think because your general interest when you go onto YouTube, you know, a craft base, it pushes any kind of craft content out to you. And I was picking up a lot of crochet channels up, and it ended up being where I went out and bought some wool or yarn and started doing some crochet myself. It's only I've only started a blanket. Started really simple with a single crochet, but you know, sort of thought, yeah, I'll give this a go. It's kind of crafty and creative. Just see how it goes and what I think of it. And apart from the days when my hands are giving me some jip, I was in pain. Yeah, crochet is quite relaxing. I think that's the good thing about being crafty in more than one area. If you're not up to doing something one day, you could do something else another day. So, for example, 2 days ago when I had that migraine, there's no way I could sit here and look at these colours and look at the screens and do a live. There's no way of me doing it. But I might have been able to just do something else. Crocheting, from what I've seen, or I might have just seen some really good people at crochet, doesn't take a lot for your eyes. You can just, once you know the movements and you know what you're doing, it's more to do with how many you're counting and what stitch you need to use and where you need to put it, things like that. But over time, I've learnt that crochet can be just done. You don't need to be sat there looking at it. You could just look at the screen and do what you're doing, and then just look down at your work every so often. Something's just cracked under my desk. No idea where it could be because I'm not leaning on anything or moved anything. It just went clunk. So I'm not pressing down too hard on this. I don't think that's what it is, but I'm pressing down pretty hard on these saturated bits. The only thing that's about doing art on YouTube is pieces take such a long time to complete, especially if you're doing coloured pencil. I mean, acrylics, fine, markers, fine, using mixed media, fine. I mean, I know crochet takes a while to actually do, but you can see the progress as you're going along. And I think art would actually, there's too many messy stages um, in art. And, I won't even let my kids see what my drawings are like halfway through me doing something because if anybody looked at them, they'd just go, it's rubbish. Because there is an ugly state, there is always ugly stages in art, and it works not till later on when things start coming together that it works. Because well, depends on what type of artist you are. I'm one of those that don't deal with just one particular area. So you'll get some artists that can colour from the top and put all the little bits there and then do the next bit and then that bit looks really good. I'm more of a I'll get a base layer down, then I go in with this and change the shadows there and do it. and I work as a piece of the whole. Maybe I should try and do it a different way, just so it can show a bit more of an interest to viewers. So I was thinking that mainly with the art side of things, I'll do them as videos, um, because they can take weeks to do one portrait, especially if you only got a couple of hours of time to sit down and do it. I'd say, a decent sized portrait in graphite can take anywhere between 7 and 10 hours if you want to get it, really, really good. It takes me that long, I should say. Um, Obviously, coloured pencil's going to take me that bit more, a little bit longer because there's different pencils you have to change over to, and also the inexperience. I've dealt with pencils. I think the largest set that I had before I bought the Faber-Castell and the CaranDache ones was a size 24 pencil set. Apart from like your cheapy ones that you just play about with. But the Prismacolor was the biggest set that I had, which was only 24. I'm actually thinking now I might invest in some of them as well, because the 24 set is amazing and you can get different colours, and I really do like how they go down. They're very creamy and very smooth. These are the reason why I bought these ones is because they're supposed to be like really, really good, and I done quite a lot of research. And I like the Faber-Castell ones. I've used them before, but I like them for detailing. And I wanted a set that would be good working on skin tones and building up layers and things like that. And I was quite happy with the Prismacolor. But after they've had quite a lot of bad press about with them moving to a different country and it's run by different people who don't do the same formula, I just thought, no, I'll just, because the set I've got is from when before they moved over to Mexico, I think they're in. And now I wish I'd sort of bought another set just to see if they're any better. In fact, I might buy another set just to test them and compare what the old ones are like compared to the new ones. But I was hoping that these would be like the basis of the realism work. The only crochet I can do is a finger crochet. I can't use those sticks. I get too frustrated. Sticks as in, you mean like knitting needles rather than crochet? Because as far as I'm aware, crochet is that you only use one. But I'm only just started looking into doing crochet anyway. If I just picked up the same pencil as I put down, olive brown. Yep, picked up the wrong one. Good job I didn't go straight in with that. Am I going the wrong way here? Which way am I going? Raw umber. Yep, that's the one. And still my finger crochet looks bad, but it was fun to do that. It is. It's really, yeah, it's really good to try new things, and I that's one thing that I've sort of struggled with for years and years, where I've jumped around on different projects and different things to do because I like variety, and I used to get myself really worked up and bothered about it because I never actually finished a full project, or I did, but it took, instead of just going in, getting one project done, then moving on to another and another, it was sort of, I'll start this project. No, I've got overwhelmed with that bit. I'll go on to another one. No, another one. And then eventually I come back to that one. So they do get completed, but it'll take a lot longer for things to get completed. So I thought I'm just going to lean into that on YouTube, because variety for different people will hopefully bring people back. Because if you sat there doing one type of art, that's great. If people who want to follow you just like art and that's it. I want to get into, no, I am into a lot more other types of crafts. I love doing things like, at the moment, or the last few months, I've been learning how to do things on this Cricut machine. but I don't know it, or I didn't know enough to actually start making videos properly about it. So I've been working sort of in the background as and when I can on different projects that I needed for like the kids' birthdays and things like that. So I can try out new products and see what works, what doesn't work, how to work things. And I think I'm at a point now where I might be able to give some kind of beginner tutorials or beginner projects, things like that. I know there's stuff that you can actually do as projects on the Cricut itself, on the design space, but I'm talking about projects that are in my head and how to actually put them through the cutting machine to help you do crafts. So I will be incorporating some Cricut stuff in the future, card making, stamping. I've done some clothing things, sequins, just anything and everything. I like trying new products. I've got so many different types of crafts going on. I've had to find quite a bit of storage for them all, so I like storage shopping as well. When my children were, when we were, when we was in COVID, and I had to homeschool the children at the time, me and my daughter picked up loom bands, which is it's basically crochet, but it's basically crochet, but it's with tiny little elastic bands. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but just make sure I've got the right number. French grey 802, yeah. They're like little tiny elastic bands, and you make different things out of them. We was making little animals and little things like that. She got really good at it. She was making all sorts of different things. But I was looking at, doing bits and pieces, and I was making them with her. And really, something that we enjoyed as mum and daughter. We've not done it for a couple of years. I bet she's still got all the stuff. Actually, I might get her to take some of that out and see if I can figure out doing a bit. See if I can bring the because it was quite a craze at the time. Well, she'd been doing it for a year or so. And then during COVID, we did a challenge. There was asking for people to crochet little hearts so that it's quite a sad thing, but when people was passing out, when people passed away, and not just from the COVID, from whatever was going on, one of these, you basically crocheted two hearts exactly the same. Um, One was put with the person who had passed away, and the other one was kept by a loved one. So there was doing in the local area like an appeal for people to do crochet. And at the time, me and my daughter didn't know how to do any kind of crochet, but loom bands is very similar to crochet. So I reached out and I just said, look, I can't do crochet, but we can do loom bands. Would they be of any use? And they said it was they took off quite well because of the colours and how fun they were, especially for if there was more of a younger person that had passed. They seemed to get chosen more than the crochet ones did. So, we'd done quite a few. I think it was a couple of hundred that we did whilst we was in COVID, and sent them off. And yeah, that was something that we was working on for a while, but it made us use different colours and different patterns during. Obviously, there's still love arts, but you could do like a row of one colour then another, and then do a double border and different things. So we did quite a lot of that together, which was quite good. This pencil not behaving. Just thinking how much these swatches actually cost to do, because you use quite a lot of the pencil. I don't really want to sharpen it. Really, at this point, if I was working on a portrait, I would have I'd have kept this really, really sharp. I mean, I do move it around to try and keep that point, but I would normally have sharpened it a lot more. But I'm so fearful of losing a lot of the colour. I wonder if there's a way of actually storing the colour afterwards when you sharpen it. Obviously not the wood shavings bit, just the actual pigment. And they could make something out of that. I just don't like waste. And I feel when you sharpen pencils, especially expensive pencils, you lose quite a lot of what you're actually sharpening. And that's why when the graphite pencils don't cost anywhere near as much as coloured pencils, obviously, but they can still be quite expensive if you're doing, you can go through. Where's that come from? Got a little bug flying near me. But yeah, graphite pencils are, sharpening away, and I actually keep the graphite to go in and use it for when I'm doing stump blending and things like that. I dip in the blending stump and use it like for backgrounds and things like that. I'm just not sure how that would work with coloured pencils, but I'm definitely going to give it a go because I don't like wasting, especially expensive materials. Don't like wasting. Silver grey next. This looks like a really nice colour, but I bet it's very pale on the. You have a great day today. Love the colour swatches. Hope to see you on your next live. Hope to see you again soon, Punch Monkey. Thanks for coming in. Am I all alone? Now I know there's a way of checking on YouTube how many people are in your live. I'm not bothered that if I come out of the screen that I'm on, that something might go wrong technically after how things went earlier today. So I'm not going to press any buttons as yet. Towards the end of the stream, I think I might just see if I can flick onto something else and see if I can open a window. I'm not sure how much you're actually picking up this colour because it is quite light. This is a silver grey. But obviously when I press down a bit harder you might be able to see the colour saturation a bit better. I'm just building up the layers for now. These are very, very light pastel colours on this particular page. There's a little bug flying about. It's only tiny, but it's getting right in my face. Wants to keep me company. Go away. You get them. I mean, this room that I'm filming from is right next to the garden, so obviously I'm gonna get the odd. I've not got any windows open, so I'm not sure how it's got in, but there's a tiny little bug that just keeps one of them annoying ones that keep flying in your face. It's only small, but just flies in my face every so often. See if you can see it on the camera. Spot the bug. It's like playing Where's Wally only with the bug. Okay, so you should start seeing some of this saturation building up now. Especially towards the bottom. I'm going in a bit harder now. Get that burnish down. You're basically flattening the paper when you're burnishing. I just want to see how saturated it becomes. I don't generally use that much pressure when I'm doing portraits. But I just see what I want to see what's the most I can get out of these pencils and the least I can get out of them is in colour and saturation. I'm just not happy that these little flicks from different colours have go in on the lighter colours. See, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but towards the bottom you can see how much it's sort of flattened out because I've put that extra pressure on at the bottom. On realistic drawings I don't want that. So yes, that's a way of burnishing, making the saturations of colour come out. But in the future, there's that flag, you can see it's like a little bug. It's gone under my Cricut machine now, good luck. So that's silver grey. This is steel grey that we're going on next. 004. This live I actually put on a few days ago. But unfortunately, because of the technical difficulties that I ran into, I had to do another one very quickly. So I'm wondering if that's why it's not bringing that many people in through chat. I can't actually see how many people are in the live, as I'm scared about coming out of the screen that I'm in. But saying that, nobody's here just yet, so let me just have a quick look if anything's on it. Refresh. Yep, that's why I didn't want to do it, because something's gone wrong. Great. Ah, there we go. Hey, it didn't go off. Steel grey. Just making sure I've got the right colour still. I clicked on it then, but it's not showing me how many people are in. I need to sort of figure out the way to talk. Because when I make these into actual videos, I don't generally put the voiceover, the voice in. I normally do a voiceover. So if I don't have to talk because there's nobody in, then I don't need to talk and just get on with it. But if people are in, I want to be able to talk to them. See, like with steel grey, I mean, these are the type of things that take your work between just colouring in and actually getting some kind of realistic looking thing. In life, nothing is one colour. And although it's nice to have this massive array of coloured pencils, you can't just go in and colour with one pencil. You have to mix different ones. There's different lights, there's different colours, there's different saturations of colours, shadows and highlights and different things. So even though this one says like steel grey, if I was to do something that was a steel grey thing, you know, some kind of metal or something like that, you're going to get a lot of shadows, you're going to get a lot of darks and a lot of lights, and you're also going to get a mid-tone. So on something metal wise, yes, I might go in with this colour. I'll also be using quite a lot of dark greys in there, blacks, and also taking it really, really white for any kind of shine or highlight that is on there. Or a lighter colour, you might mix these two together. One thing that I learned during learning art, I did art at school, but back when I was at school, you did your GCSEs for what work you wanted to do. And at the time, I didn't really have much as an option as what, you know, like the generation of my children have. You know, they've got the opportunity to be creative and they can earn money by being creative. Where when I was in school, you know, this type of stuff wasn't a real job. Real job is where you went out and got some money because you needed it to live on. Things have changed quite a lot, and people can afford to be creative now. But I didn't do art in college. I went and did technology and computers, and yeah, obviously them skills went out the window. As time progressed and stuff like that, my knowledge of technology has become limited. But yeah, that's what I did, and worked towards different office-based jobs. And now I'm going the opposite way and actually doing something creative. Hopefully, eventually, where I can use YouTube as an income eventually. But that takes a long time and a lot of effort and a lot of hours. And I want to do this where I'm still enjoying it and not it's not a job. Still a job. The behind the scenes stuff is the bit I don't really like. And it wouldn't be too bad if I could remember things, what I've learned. But I'm making got a new notebook for different things because I need to build up that knowledge and be able to refer back to my own notes and read things how I understood it. Is quicker than going back over other people's videos and rewatching somebody who can explain something in too great of a detail. And that's a good thing about putting these skills that you've learned onto YouTube, which I'm going to do a bit more of. Anything that I'm sort of learning as I go along. Um, there's obviously somebody out there who's not as experienced as I am, whether that by a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or not even actually started the YouTube journey. They're going to have to learn different aspects of how to do things. So I was thinking of doing a series of videos for complete beginners or people who are not technically minded. Well, like I'm not anymore. Used to be, but not anymore. Um, so things that I've learned and notes that I've made to make it as simple as possible for people, but I just don't know if it'd be that great of interest for it. Because it's not just stuff that I've learnt for YouTube. You know, I've learnt um about different programs and different settings. I mean, yesterday it's very very basic, but I even did a bit of coding. I had to watch the same video about 6 or 7 times, but I did a bit of coding so I could do one of the overlay screens on the OBS that I'm using. Now, before YouTube, I never even heard of OBS or StreamYard or any of the other things. And I wasn't even a social media person. Yeah, I sent the odd picture via Facebook or, you know, the odd WhatsApps and things like that, but I watched YouTube videos for how-tos and bits of entertainment and stuff like that, but I wasn't somebody that, you know, went on Instagram and posted and YouTube and TikTok and all the rest of it. I'm not really that kind of person to have done that. We're on slate grey and we have 3 more to do. The other thing that I've learnt through YouTube is things like Canva and design and things like that, just because you have to do those extra things. So there's a lot of programs in the background that you sort of have to learn for making your videos pop out or do thumbnails or whatever it is. And just them take a toll on what you need to know and how, if you've got that background anyway, that's quite an easy thing for somebody to do. But when you don't do them type of things, it's not natural for you to know these programs because you've worked on it over a long period of time. I mean, PowerPoint only just come out when I started, doing computers at college and stuff like that. So that's how long ago it was, and that come out not long after I finished college. So I've not really got any experience with PowerPoint, and that's just a basic run-through program. So doing any basic things is a task in itself to learn, but then also to remember it. That's the bit that I struggle with. But I did start creating some quizzes, and I like developing them. Take a bit of time to do. Probably won't take other people a bit of time to do, but for me it takes a while to do these things. And that's the difference. I can do them, but it takes me longer than where it might take somebody else. I'm getting tired. So I don't know if you can see this as I'm actually doing the colouring and twisting the pencil as I go, so that it doesn't build up just one flat side. And that's just something that I've come to learn doing the graphite. As I'm building up the layers, I'm going further down, so I'll start like this and then I go a bit further down the pencil, and that just gives you that ability to press that little bit harder as you're turning the pencil. Hi, Handy. How are you, lovely? Just thinking about you, wondering where you was. Have you been a busy bee today? Sorry, just got up a few moments ago. Yeah, this time zone thing is a real problem, isn't it? Hi, Wheatsart. Just to let you both know, I'm doing two different lives. I've got one horizontal and one vertical going. I was hoping to catch some people on the shorts feed, but it doesn't seem to be bringing anybody in at the minute. I'm not sure if that's because YouTube still doesn't allow me to go live. I have to go through StreamYard, so I'm not sure if that's anything, but I've not had any through traffic at all and thought maybe I might have had one or two come in. Um, but yeah, I've not had nobody come in. But I've got them both running at the same time, so if you don't see each other in chat, that's why. So Andy's in on the vertical, and yeah, Groggy Doggy's been in. And Rita is on the horizontal. How are you today, Rita? And how are your overnight streams doing? What time are you both on? Asking too many questions there, and I've not even given you any time to answer, have I? Right, that's Payne's Grey. Slate Grey. Payne's Grey, 60%. Yeah, that's that one. Just called Payne's Grey. Right, yeah. Wrong call. Yeah, I recognise Doggy Walks from, I think, from your chat. I think. I've seen them in a few other ones as well, but I weren't sure whether it was your live or not. But you putting the name down, presuming it is from your channel where I've met them, as well as others. They went live for the first time today, which I will go and have a look at in a bit. I had some horrible technical difficulties at the beginning of this live stream. I had to actually end the live stream on both vertical and horizontal because it went completely bad and nothing was all lined wrong. Microphone wasn't working. Lots of different things didn't go right. So yeah, I had to stop the lives on both of them, reschedule it for half an hour later, and then fix the problems in the background ready for me to get on. So yes, I have been sort of at this since about 2 o'clock actually getting things ready on the desk. 2 o'clock was 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. I'm getting towards doing the black, which is I'm quite interested to see how dark it actually goes. This is normally the darkest of the greys. You know, in the bath. You're watching me from the bath. Oh, I've not had a bath for years. I'd love a bath. I have to take showers because I can't get in and out of the bath without help, and I don't like people helping me. So, yeah, I have a shower, and yeah, I'd love to just soak in a bath. You don't realise what's taken away from you until you can't do it anymore. I love being in water. I've always done swimming and stuff like that, and I've really enjoyed them, but I've not been able to do that for quite some time with the fatigue that I get. So yeah, it wipes me out, and I can't be wiped out when I'm on my own looking after two kiddies. I need to spend my energy elsewhere, but I'd love to go and just lie in a pool and lie in a pool with the sun on you. That'd be nice. I need a holiday on my own. That's not going to happen. Sweetsart says I'm going to get some caffeine from the minute market down the road, so we're back if you're still alive. Oh, great, thank you. See you in a bit. Make sure you get some caffeine in you. I need some of that, I think. The migraines have not come back, but the headache is definitely still there. Oh, thanks for leaving and playing. I appreciate that. Not a bath. Oh, I'm in both. Oh my god. It's me telling you that I've not had a bath. You thought they're thinking dirty get. No, I do have showers. I thought it said bath. I think I was just wishful thinking. You're in both. Oh god. Yeah, it's one of them days. My vision is not completely back to normal after the migraines. It's not like I can't see. It's just not as clear as it normally would be. And I don't generally use my glasses in the house. I only use them for driving. Because I don't normally have any issues, but I'm wondering it might be a good idea to wear my glasses. Not in a bath. You made me feel like I want a bath now. It is 9:45 there. I need to write this time. 9:45 and 9:45. And it's 16:45. So brain's not working either. 8 hours. We were 8 hours behind. Are you on the 2nd of April? I do need a soak. Definitely do need a soak. I'd love to. I'd love to just get in the bath, a nice warm bath with some Epsom salts and some. Yeah. Oh god, that sounds so nice. It's amazing how many things you miss when you're not able to do. But we have to be grateful for what we can do. If I was more grateful for the things that I could do when I could do them, I would have probably enjoyed them a bit more. But you just go through life thinking that you're going to have these abilities and everything to do, and then you don't. And you miss it when it's gone. The saying is very true. Now my hair's coming out. Peppermint and eucalyptus. Sounds good. Some essential oils in the bath. I used to be able to use like when it I've not mentioned this on the channel before, but I used to do exercise to music as an instructor. I just passed all my courses and everything to do exercise to music, and I did a lot of classes and workouts and things like that. Um, One of the things that I used to love doing after I got home from the studio was to get in the bath with some Epsom salts, magnesium Epsom salts. Put whatever not eucalyptus, put whatever essential oils in the bath and just lie there and just do nothing for about 10 minutes. I used to love doing that. Um, yeah, that's when I had somebody around to watch them for 10 minutes. But I'd rather them not be here for all the time that they did cause problems than just have that 10 minutes. My mum and dad used to have a walk-in bath, which I used to be able to just go, oh, fancy a bath, I can go around there and just get in the walk-in bath, but they don't have it anymore. And I live in rented accommodation, so I don't really want to. I don't think I'm able to put in a walk-in bath anyway because it's rented. But they're quite expensive, so I wouldn't want to invest into a rented property with a walk-in bath. But yeah, I used to enjoy doing Zumba and Les Mills step aerobics, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm lucky if I can get up a couple of steps. And I think this is one of the things that I wanted to sort of put out on the channel is about learning to actually look after yourself whilst you're looking after somebody else, because my health has took a complete back burner since having the kids, and my health has declined, not just because of disabilities but also because I've not had the ability to do or the time to spend on myself and my health, because you can't just do it once and that's it. You know, with building up your muscles after you've got a disability and things like that, physiotherapy, you have to do it on a regular basis, and I just don't have the time for that. Even now, I don't. You know, get 1 day a week really when they're at college, and that's when I'm doing these live streams. Because eventually, I need to be able to earn from this if possible. Because I can't just go out and get a job like other people can. So I'm hoping my crafty skills or my anything that I've built up over the years, my creative skills, could be a door on the YouTube. Right, this is the black, and I'm not happy with the black. I've decided that I am going to go and get, order online, I should say, a few different black pens, not a few. I'm going to buy quite a range of black pencils from different brands because I want to see who has the darkest black and what works well on the paper that I'm going to be using. So this might look dark and black on the camera, but really, I've burnished this, I've pressed really, really hard there, and yeah, it's black, but it's a grey black. It's not a black black. I wonder if I can show that. So just with blacks. So this is pressing quite hard. There's quite a lot of flaking on that one as well. So that's a CaranDache black. This is the Prismacolor black. I think I've got someone at the door. And I've got nobody to get it for me. I'll see if they knock again. If they do, I'm just going to have to go and get it done quick. So that's the Prismacolor black. And you can see how much darker that is. And these are nowhere near as costly as them ones are. And that went down really nice as well. I don't know if you can see that on this camera. I'm not even on camera, am I? Right, just bear with me a minute because they're knocking like mad. Back in a minute. Right, well, that was just in time. I lost track of time, and that is the children that are home. So I apologise, but I'm gonna have to get off and love yous and leave yous. I might actually come back on later on, if the technology allows me to, and do something other than swatching. Because I'm feeling a bit creative today and I want to do something. So instead of just recording a video, I might actually come on and do a live. It'd be something that I've done before, and hopefully the technology will go a bit better than it did earlier. But for now, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to go because I need to be a parent. All right, everybody. Sorry, Andy. I know you're not long since joined, but I'll catch you later, lovely. Right, if you are watching this on the replay, appreciate you coming over. Same with everybody who's joined me today during the chat. I appreciate you coming here. Please like, share, and subscribe as much as you can do. Just want to try and get these out and about so that when I do start doing some more creative things, I can actually have some people in the chat to keep me going. Okay, take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye.